Go!
In the early 2010s, before it became a go-to cliche for fanboy-based nostalgia, Disney came up with the brilliant idea to turn a classic video game villain into a misunderstood sweetheart. For the most part, it worked, and now we get to share with you the 13 things that you probably didn't know about Wreck-It Ralph. We just hope that if they ever make a sequel, that it won't be uninspired and trendy just for the sake of staying relevant. Number 13. The bartender game which appears, Tapper, was controversial in real life. The game featured a bartender serving mugs of Budweiser beer. The game was intended for adults to play in real-life bars, but eventually made its way into kid-friendly arcades where parents became upset at the content. Oh no, Billy! Consequently, Bally Midway recreated a nearly identical version called Root Beer Tapper, with a soda jerk character instead of a bartender. The version in Wreck-It Ralph combines the bartender character of the original with the root beer of the later version.
Number 12. Disneyland guests used to be able to play the Fix-It Felix Jr. arcade game at the Starcade in Tomorrowland near the exit of Space Mountain. But the arcade game has since been removed.
Number 11. The train station of Niceland shows that the population is 224 by 256, the common resolution of an 8-bit game.
Number 10. Disney first began developing an animated film about the world of video game characters in the 1980s. At that time, the project was called High Score, and in the 1990s was titled Joe Jump. In the 2000s, when the movie was finally pushed forward, the first 2 months of story development focused on Fix-It Felix Jr. as the main character.
Number 9. The graffiti in Game Central Station contains many inside jokes and references to famous video games. One says Aerith lives, in reference to Final Fantasy VII. Another says all your base are belong to us, from the infamously poor English translation of the game Zero Wing.
Number 8. Early in production, they considered keeping all characters in their native graphic quality, essentially making Ralph look 8-bit the entire time. This was deemed too difficult for making Ralph a sympathetic, lovable character.
Number 7. Wreck-It Ralph was released 75 years to the day after the first ever Walt Disney animation film.
Number 6. The high score of Wreck-It Ralph's game cabinet is 120501, 120,501, which is also a nod to the birthday of Walt Disney when divided up as 120501.
Number 5. The Sugar Rush racer Mintizaki is a tribute to Japanese animator Hayao Miyazaki, of whom executive producer John Lasseter is a huge fan. Lasseter hosts introductions for the Disney-released DVDs of a number of Miyazaki films.
Number 4. King Candy's voice and character design is modeled after Ed Wynn,
Don't you know?
a popular comedian and voice artist, best known in Walt Disney films as the voice of the Mad Hatter in Alice in Wonderland, and Uncle Albert in Mary Poppins. And Ralph Garman does a mean impression of him. Don't you know?
Number 3. There is a piece of graffiti on the right side of the tunnel which reads, Leroy! A nod to Leroy Jenkins, a World of Warcraft player who obtained internet fame from a video of him running headlong into battle while shouting his own name.
Number 2. The DJ at Fix-It Felix's 30th anniversary party is designed after Skrillex, a real-life dubstep artist who also wrote the music from the scene in which Ralph first goes into battle in Hero's Duty.
Number 1. When Wreck-It Ralph is hiding in the chocolate pond from the Devil Dogs, the sound you hear is Darth Vader's famous breathing sound, sped up. And that is the 13 things that you probably didn't know about Wreck-It Ralph.
Thank you for listening. Don't you know? Well, hello there, and thank you for listening. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can get notified when we put up new videos.